ANZCAR Trucks Season Number 1, 2023, Daytona Beach, Florida is your location. We're here for round number 1. How good's this going to be? Joining me in the booth tonight is Dave Douglas. Mark Joe will be here as well on occasion. Good evening to you, Dave.
Yeah, good evening, Aidan. I'd rather be out there on track, but my clocks were around the wrong way and we missed out. So we'll come up here and give you in the booth. Hopefully, call a good race tonight.
Yeah, really appreciate it, mate, and looking forward to this one. Definitely. It's been a long time between drinks in the booth, and what a way to start it here at Daytona for season number 1, round number 1 of the ANZCAR Truck Series. An absolute packed field tonight. 40 on the grid, as you said, you missed out, and it was literally 2 minutes and it was full. So we're looking forward to an absolutely amazing night tonight. I can't wait to see what all the boys are going to bring to the table, because I bet you they're all chomping at the bit.
Yeah, for sure, mate. No better place. It's always a good spot to start the speed weeks. The speeds are up, the accidents are big, and the consequences are even bigger. So should be good. Sometimes it can get a bit messy, so we'll have to see how these boys handle it tonight. See how they end up going through this race. But it should be entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah, it definitely will be entertaining, and we'll bring up some track facts for you. It's in front of you at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening to everyone at home watching here. And we're excited to bring this to you. It obviously is an oval here at Daytona Beach, Florida, as you see the boys getting into each other in the background. Track length is 2.48 miles or 3.99 kilometres, whichever way you like to look at it and wherever you're tuning in from. 4 turns, obviously. City is Daytona Beach and the United States of America. Currently, if we bring up the tower, we do have Gary Wellman sitting at the top of the practice session at the moment with a 47.422. Not to be outdone by Steve Williams there in second. We all know, Dave, practice doesn't mean a lot, but it's always good first round to come out and put the car at the front.
Yeah, it doesn't mean too much at all, but it's more of a flex than anything. It's always good to see your name at the top. So whenever your name's at the top, it's always a good feeling. So even though, as I said, it doesn't mean nothing, but I know you're a practice champion. No one can deny you that.
No one can deny a practice champion. I think I've done that a lot of times in Crash. So anyway, that's probably why I'm in the broadcast booth. But Lockie Urquio has just gone to the top too. He's no mug. I'm looking forward to seeing how the SRM guys go tonight, actually, Dave, because they've had some really solid results lately. And Matty Ray just comes off winning the Summer Series, Weekend Warriors Truck Series himself. So he'll be going into this one full of form and a lot of confidence under his belt.
Yeah, I reckon the SRM boys have doubled their numbers on last season. So you know what it is, mate. The more chances you have in the lottery, I guess, the more chance you have of winning it. So they should be well represented. As you can see, some of those highlights there, those boys crashing in the practice. No doubt we'll see some more of that tonight. But they should be sitting pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, mate. And Jai Schultz is also someone to look out for. He finished second in that said series in the Summer Series as well. He's no mug behind the wheel, so we'll have to look out for him as well. I've got to have a little bit of a shout out to my mate Carlos. He's sitting there inside the top 10, Carl Withy at the moment, usually behind the mic. Good to see him out there having a run tonight. Hopefully he can have a nice clean one and come away with a good finish. Also, I've got to have a big shout out to my man Luke Kenny, Quantum Motorsports, new thing. Hopefully he can go all right as well. But with 7 minutes left in practice, still a lot to go. The boys are just going to be feeling it out at the moment, seeing what their fuel drop is and how the race is going to pan out. Obviously, they're going to be sitting there working on strategies. They know there's going to be a big one at some point. It's going to be when that's going to happen and whether they can get through it. Also, Paul Jackson now up into the top 10 as well, so Paul will be looking for a good result. I pretty much can say that for all 40 drivers, to be honest, but it's going to be an interesting night with 6 minutes to go left in the practice session before we roll over to the 5-minute 2-lap qualifying session. For those of you that have not watched the stream or not been a part of the NASCAR ranks, from wherever you're watching, they will go into a 5-minute 2-lap qualifying session. It will be a standalone qualifying session, so there'll be no draft. They'll be on track by themselves, no one else, and we'll see who can put down the quickest time to take pole here for round number 1 of season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. A lot of other guys down there as well. Brad Fenley, Troy Davidson, Danny G down there as well. He runs this series, so Danny G will be one to look out for as well. But I've got to ask you, Dave. I know it's a bit of a lottery and it's a pretty loaded question, to be honest, but Who's your pick, mate? You always got to have a pick. Who's your pick?
Yeah, right. Let me go through the list here. What I am excited about though is new season 2023, new names. So there's a fair chunk of new names in this series too. So the ones that we're lucky enough to get in, yeah. So there's a few guys out here I've never seen or heard of before out there. So it's going to be good to see how they go and represent themselves. But uh, you heard it here first. The O2 of Darren McKenzie will win this race tonight.
Oh, a bit of a Darren McKenzie fan. The O2 of Darren McKenzie. That actually won't surprise me.
Welcome back, Darren McKenzie, mate. It's his return tour, mate. So I'm tipping D-Mac. He's a gun behind the wheel, and he's a good super speedway manager. So yeah, keep an eye on the O2 tonight, boys.
Yeah, that's him on screen at the moment. He's a good steerer, and it's good to see him back in the ANZCAR ranks. It's been a long time between drinks, so no doubt he'll be looking to have a good one tonight. We'll see how he goes. The 75 in behind him at the moment as well. That's Wesley Closey. I don't know if I pronounced that right, Wesley, so I do apologise if I didn't. I'm sure you'll call me out on Discord if I didn't. But we're now under the 5-minute mark before we go into the qualifying session. We've also seen a bit of changes in the ANZCAR ranks, Dave, with the Cup Series as well. They had their launch just a week ago, and we are into Speed Week, coming into the Daytona 500 this weekend in the Cup. A lot of changes that they've done. A lot of people put their comments down on what they like to see change, and it's really interesting to see how that's going to pan out. And I think there's some really good changes. It's going to be a really good season in the Cup. Yes, we're here for the truck, but yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, some slight changes. Another guy I forgot to mention, though, I just see out there on the track on my screen, is Ryan Jones. Watch out for Little Bones. He's reinvigorated himself. He had some good form towards the end of last season in ANZCAR, so he's going to look to go better this season. And he's got the Reality Energy sponsored truck, so that's what we like to see.
We know he likes Kyle Busch, mate.
Yeah, I'm a Kyle Busch fan myself, so he knows his way to my heart, the little dog. But anyway,
he's a really quick operator. He'll be there or thereabouts. He's known for burning up his stuff on like the 1.5s and stuff like that, but it's not going to be about that tonight. So hopefully Jonesy can have a really, really good run. We'll see how he goes. Currently in practice, he's sitting about in the early teens. So like we said, it's nothing. This is not anything to go with form at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. This is not what you're probably going to see in the race. But yeah, Ryan Jones, definitely look out for him. Of course, we can't write off the Mitch Motorsports guys. They are absolutely legends when it comes to oval racing, so we can't write off those guys. And of course, shout out Sim Boys. We can't write off them either.
Yeah, there's enough of them. As I was talking about the lottery before, the Northern Amish have. There's plenty of Sim Boys getting around on that. Have they got more than 10 on the back of their car now or something like that? Anyway, I can't keep up with how many people it is because I'm sure a few people will have missed out. SR. I just saw a lot of Mitre 10s out there before. I thought, whoever's the Mitre 10 cars, they've got a few out there. So.
I had the same issue. I was asking Mark earlier, what's the Mitre 10 on the back? I'm not used to seeing that. And then I realised the numbers. I'm like, yeah, righto. That's it.
So, yeah, very similar. But give me, you talk some rubbish for a minute, Aiden. I'm just going to go and try and fix my sound. As you know, I was running around the back of the computer a minute ago. I've lost sound, so I'll be back in 30 seconds, man. You
100%, talk. Mate. I like talking rubbish. That's no problem. As we see JCW just getting a nice push there on the outside, going around the 75 of, I believe that was Wesley. I think I got that right. We don't have any live timing here, ladies and gentlemen, so I do apologise in advance if we get some stuff wrong, but bear with us. Oh, as JCW just gets a helping hand by Paul Jackson in the fence. Hopefully they're getting that all out of their system early doors in this one. A minute 42 to go, minute 41 before we roll into the qualifying session here for round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. Lachlan Urquio currently sits at the top with a 47.157. Gary Wellman there with a 47.158 rather in second, with a 3/10 gap back to Stevie Dub, Stephen Williams, a 47.485. So Lachlan Urquio and Gary Wellman showing some nice speed here early on in the practice session. But like we said, ladies and gentlemen, where you're tuning in here, whether it be Australia, all around the world, this is not done yet. There's a lot to play out and there's a lot to go with a minute in practice. to go. Looking forward to the race. It's going to be absolutely great. Mark, you're in here. You can unmute yourself and help me for a little bit. We've got a minute. Thank you so much for allowing me to get back into the broadcast booth. As you can see with my commentary, I'm absolutely pumped and I'm so excited to be back in the booth. It's been a long time.
Yeah, mate, it's good to have you back up here in the booth. I know you've done some great calls in the past, and I'm really looking forward to working with yourself and our guest commentators through the year. And yeah, you and Dave are 100% right. It's going to be an exciting season, season one. The trucks have gone a little bit different this year. Instead of doing they're doing 3 short seasons, so we will have that up for you later on in the broadcast. But you were saying about picking a winner. I'm got my winner, but I'm not going to say who it is. Because
Come on, you can't do that.
Oh, look, really, how can you go past the? Let me see if I can find him. We've run out of time. They should check a flag on practice, so I'll say it. Hamish Gallagher is my pick.
Definitely a good pick there. Hamish Gallagher, a multiple ANZCAR champion across the Thunder Series and Truck Series, a very good pick there. So Hamish Gallagher, look out for him, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be in the number 13 car tonight for Mitch Motorsports. He'll be there or thereabouts. But we have rolled across into the qualifying session now, so we're about to see how the field's going to line up here for round number 1 as they go into the qualifying session. We'll just wait to bring up the first car that does make their way on track and see how this is going to play out. So just bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll wait and see when the first car decides to go out onto pit.
Carl's on his way out. The 65 is on his way out.
Lap. Carl Withy, I believe, is on his way out. We'll see if we can grab him. Carl Withy,
so we can see the 65.
A stalwart commentator here on ANZCAR, Dave. Here he is on track now. He's got out from the commentator's booth, saw back and all, and he's out here running. Let's see how he goes in qualifying.
Yeah, that's it, mate. It's all about just getting that momentum up to speed up, even from the box there. So when he started there, he's going to be trying to get to full throttle as fast as he can. Try not to slide it, going through that flat section of the apron, and then work his way back onto the track. Hopefully run high 3 and 4, and then drop down through 1 and 2, and then just hold it flat and try and not move that steering wheel as much as you can. So you see he's sitting up a bit high on the track there, which is perfect. 3 and 4, and then as he comes through the travel, he should drop down to that yellow line. He may jump down a bit earlier, but basically you want to be flat and least resistance on the road. So you don't want to be moving that wheel around, going down the straights or anything. So try and hold that wheel straight, and you should have a good time. So here he goes, drops down right to the yellow, and we'll see how he goes as he starts his first lap of qualifying.
Yeah, and you're 100%. And I love the qualifying sessions, especially at super speedways. And I know myself, I'm no good at them, but it's really good to see how people generate their lap speed. And Carl did do exactly what you said there, ran high through 3 and 4. He's hugging that yellow, and he will not move from that yellow. As I say that, he's gone back up to the high. So he's obviously trying to get his quickest lap out on the second lap. We'll see how he goes.
Yeah, some people tend to... Yeah, sorry to cut you over. Some people do run it differently. Some people think that you use less wheel if you go up to the high of the track there. So I tend to do that, but not as high as Carl went. But that's the way he's going to do it, and that's the way he's going to go about his business. But it doesn't hurt too much. But as I said, less resistance on the wheel if you go to the top. So let's see how he crosses the line here. We'll see what he does. Just see where it puts him. So he hits the line, and he goes to about 12th or something like that. Well, it looks like that.
Yeah, 52.192 for Carl Withy there on his first lap out. Currently sitting in pole is Ruben Phelps from SRM from New Zealand with a 51.949. Your man, Darren McKenzie, D-Mac, 51.998. So you're on it early. He's out of the front at the moment. Shane Bowen and Paul Grady now up in the third with a 52 flat, but Shane Bowen and Alexander Sheridan. There's some new names here, Dave, that we haven't seen.
Yeah,
so
Shane, I'm familiar with Shane. Me and him had some good battles in the majors series. So he's a good steerer. So keep an eye on him. As you said, Ruben still holds the top spot. Paul Grady, good job up there. So Shane Bowen coming into the series for his first time hasn't raced in ANZCAR, but has definitely done a fair bit of racing himself. Sits in 5th at the moment.
Well, Danny G's on screen at the moment as well, so we'll see what Danny can do as he comes across the line. He's about to go through 3 and 4 at the moment. A little bit of a change of liveries here for the for the Mitch Motorsports guys. Just a little bit of a mix-up there. That's a really, really good-looking car there for Danny G. Coming through 3 and 4. It looks like he's not going to set a fast lap this time. It looks like he's setting up to do it next time around with the way that he's running. But in saying that, everyone has their different strategies. But he comes across the line at the moment, and my computer is glitching like hell.
So Mackenzie's still there in second. So you can see the times how close they are. So the top 13 are all within a tenth. So very little difference. So Danny G's dropped down now. So he's going to go for a second lap, hot lap, basically. So he used the first lap, the out lap, and the first lap as a momentum, get all the speed, run up the top, try and get that car at its peak speed. And now he's dropped down to try and set the fast lap. So this will be good to see how this one works for him. People do it different ways. People go for it on lap 1, people go for it on lap 2. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's not much in it. As you can see, the times are so close that if you just move that wheel just a little bit too much, you'll lose a thousandth of a second, and that's enough. So then he's about to hit the line here. We'll see where it puts him.
And a 51.949 is the time to beat. Is he going to be able to do that? Where's that going to put him? Up into P number 5, a 52.008 for Danny G. So not quite enough. It looks like Ruben Phelps has got the pole here for round number 1.
Good start for SRM. We mentioned them boys, the Motor 10 boys. So yeah, good start out. And then DMAC, welcome back on the outside of the front row.
All right, so we'll go through your starting order here for round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. It will be Ruben Phelps from SRM off the pole. Darren McKenzie will start out of P number 2. Russell Bratka out of 3, and Paul Drady starting out of P4. Danny G will start out of P5 as I'm going a little bit too quick. I'll just wait for that to catch up for a minute. Danny G out of P5, Shane Bowen out of P6. Out of P7 is Alexander Sheridan with Hamish Gallagher out of 8. Following them will be Brad Allison with Joshua Carl-Walden off the 5th row. Out of the 6th row will be Gary Wellman and Sean Doki, I can't pronounce that. Jai Schultz and Troy Davidson off the 7th. Max Cooper, Jack Barrett off the 8th. Out of the 9th row will be Chris Finlay and Greg Spencer. And out of the 10th row, Adam Malone and Norman Clark. Big grid here tonight. 11th row, Josh Mickelmore and Brenton Henderson. Out of the 12th will be Jamie Nankervis and Dylan O'Shea. Stephen Williams and Josh Gallican off row 13. Row 14, Nigel Payton and Brett Campbell. What a good livery there from Brett. Ryan Jones out of the 15th row with Luke Kenny. Out of the 16th row will be Paul Jackson and Liam James. Carl Withy and Brad Finley out of the 17th row. 18th row will be Wesley Closeley. I think
yeah,
that
so you
is
can
all.
See a few different names in there. Brenton Henderson to be one to keep an eye on. I can't remember, I was racing the other day, but he was doing a really good job. I think he might have been at one of the super speedways in a truck. So keep an eye on him. I think he finished in the top 5. So yeah, he's a few dark horses out there tonight.
Yeah, I've done a lot of races with Brenton, as you have as well, and he's been getting really, really consistent and good. So, yeah, good call there. Definitely look out for him. It's going to be interesting, but this is Daytona, Davo. Mate, anything can happen. The big one's going to happen, and they're about to roll away now. Ruben Phelps will lead the field with Darren McKenzie there from Southern Stars on the outside. Russell Bratka and Paul Drady on the second row. I tell you what, boys, settle in, buckle up. 80 laps a Daytona, full field, stacked field. A tenth of a second across the top 13 or 14. This is going to be nuts.
It definitely is, mate. I'm just going to try and restart this and see if I can get my sound working, but continue on. I'll be back before the start of the race.
Yeah, all right. Race laps, 80 laps, ladies and gentlemen. A long night in the office for these guys. Race distance, 308.2 miles or 192 kilometres. Unlimited tyres for the guys. It's not really going to matter here at Daytona. They will not take tyres under a green flag stop. They may do under a yellow flag stop just to help the wheel spin on the restart. They do have a fuel tank range of about 32 to 35 laps. If you're Ruben Phelps at the front and you're leading the way, you're going to use more fuel. So it's all about finding your friend, working with someone, utilising the fuel, getting in, getting those pit stops done nice and cleanly, and getting out and keep going. But a long way to go. We're about to go green. But the weather tonight, we've got 5 kilometres per hour or 3 miles per hour to the southeast wind direction. Air temp is 19 degrees Celsius on track or 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temp is 19 degrees or 67. degrees Fahrenheit, whichever way you look at it. Humidity 0%. But we're about to strap in. We're about to go green. Ruben Phelps leading us to the green flag for the first time here for round number 1, season number 1 of the ANZCAR Truck Series. The pace car is about to pull in, and the boys are about to get loud for 80 laps. Have a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the field. It is stacked. We're about to go green. It's in the hands of Ruben Phelps. We're waiting for the green flag, and we're here green for round number 1. Ruben Phelps with a good jump off the inside row. Darren McKenzie's going to look for someone to work with here, and he'll just stay there on the outside. Danny G with a good start on the inside as well. He's going to just sit there. So we'll see whether the boys behave themselves for the first couple of laps. And they're too wide at the moment as they go through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, she's a big field, so you want to get yourself settled in early here. There will be some guys that will try and make their way to the front and be a little more aggressive than others, and others will just sort of move their way to the back. As you can see, the guys pushing hard down the bottom line as it just actually got 06 a little bit loose there. So you can see that gap now that's formed between them, because I think that in behind there is the 25. I'm not sure who it is because I don't have the time, but we might be able to get that tower on the left-hand side of the screen. Might be able to get that one up. But Darren McKenzie's going to lead that first lap here.
That's Russell Bratka there. So that's SRM on the inside line. It's the USA driver. He got Ruben a little bit loose there down the back stretch. So Ruben would have had his heart in his mouth a little bit there. They've got that done, but they're now just slowly making their way back up. Very important to work with people and have a draft and to be able to push correctly. You'll be the one to say this, Dave. You're really good at super speedways, mate, and you've won a lot of them. People can look at these races and they're just literally turning left, but they're really technical, and how to push someone correctly, it's really an art in its own form, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You've got to know when to push and when not to push, and really, and you've got to not be just the guy in front. As you see, Drady, I think that's dropping down between Darren McKenzie, taking it 3 wide now. He wasn't happy to sit him behind. He just thought, might take it up the middle and move myself up. So he did that pretty simply. It was probably allowed by Darren more than anything. But yeah, you're not just pushing the guy in front. You've got to know what's going on around you, because the runs are coming at different angles and at different speeds. So you can't just focus on the guy in front. You've got to focus on about 5 guys around you to be able to make a good push.
Yeah, exactly right. And Paul Drady there had a massive run on the outside, getting up the inside or through the middle, making it 3 wide early doors, and now nearly going to take the lead of the motor race. Ruben's still sitting just on the inside. He's just going to sit there. He's got nothing to win or nothing to gain at the moment. He's just going to sit there and keep running that inside line. But Paul Drady and Darren McKenzie on that outside are pushing hard, trying to get it. I'm not sure they're trying to get around, but they're pushing hard. They've got the 308 behind them as well, and that is Shane Bowen. So we'll see whether that outside line's going to work and hook up as it goes on. Obviously, we're 2 wide at the moment. They will go 3 wide eventually, but it's the calm before the storm. But all the guys have been really gentlemanlike so far. Yeah,
for sure. And these trucks are a bit different over the last 12 months to when they were here last year. They actually, I feel they get more loose now. You get right up behind your car in front, and it takes the air off that rear spoiler and just loosens the guy that's getting pushed. You actually, if you're in front, you'll actually feel the cars actually start to wobble around in a straight line, and you're not actually doing anything with the wheels. So it does take a bit of air off. So it is hard to push. Or as we see Brad Elson, as it just drops straight down aggressively down into the pack there. But it's not as easy as days gone by to push in these trucks.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely second your comments there. But let's go back in the field as they settle down lap 5 in. Let's go back and look at some people about midway down, somewhere about that, and give them a bit of airtime. So I'll just wait and see what we've got in my ear and who we're looking at. But these guys are running their race differently at the moment.
Bones there. Little Bones and who's he got behind him? Max Cooper, the new name that I haven't seen before. Max Cooper's running around here. They got Brett Campbell, just playing it safe. He knows how to be safe. He's followed me a few times, and we managed to get to the end.
Jamie Nankervis there in the 8 as well. Jamie's coming off a solid year in the Weekend Warriors Cup as well. He, I think he might have got Rookie of the Year and podiumed for the season. So Jamie Nankervis, no mug as well. He's going to be there or thereabouts. Luke Kenny in front of him. I've got to have a big shout out to Luke Kenny, Quantum Motorsports, my man. Watch out for that truck. I've got to have a little bit of a selfish go there, mate. I've got to.
Oh, mate, yeah, I was actually going to jump in and give him a spot for the night and just help him out and run through the race with him. But then I saw the opportunity to jump in the booth. I thought, why not? But yeah, if I wasn't here, I'd be in his ear right now and just working his way through the race and helping him and sort of talk his way through it. But he should be right out there on his own. He knows he's done it a few times before, but always learning. But yeah, hopefully he has a good run tonight.
That's what it's about. And Adam Malone just in front of him as well. Adam Malone from Southern Stars. Like, it's everywhere we look, Dave. They're absolutely amazing drivers. We talk about all of them, and they've all got different strategies at the moment. We're lap 6 of 80. Still a long way to go. Still a lot to play out. No crashes yet. Everyone being really gentlemanlike. But I tell you what, look out for the DPR cars in the background as well. I believe that might be Stevie Dubb maybe in the background as well. Definitely don't ride off them. But what's going to be really interesting, Dave, I believe, if we do get to a green flag pit stop, is seeing how everyone transitions through it, because it's very crucial to be able to have a teammate and to be able to get in and out of pit lane really cleanly. So if we do get to that, we're still a long way to go. 33 laps is about the fuel drop here, ladies and gentlemen. Still a long way to go, but if we do, that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And as you can see at the front of the pack, was a jump on board with, I think I saw Stevie Dubb at the moment. He's got his teammate in front of him, Dylan O'Shea, who's just snuck into that race by the sounds of it. But yeah, you can see the pack even up the front there. You see you sitting up there. There's the top line starting to thin out a little more. So that means they're starting to get more comfortable and everybody's sort of just getting into a zone where they're happy to sit and ride. But then what that's going to do is bring us to green flag stops. So races can be won and lost in the pit lane. So very easy to overshoot speed on the way in, have contact even. A lot of times you'll see drivers have contact on the way in the pit lane because you want to come as a pack. As we jump on Greg Spencer, I think we're on board with Spencer as the front. It's tighten up out the front there a bit. The 18 is going to go for a look and go for a run there. The 18, not sure who that is at this point in time, but yeah, he's just bobbing around there, looking around. Max Cooper it is.
And you can see there, Dave, it's exactly what you say. Like, it's spread out a bit, but it just takes someone just to check up a little bit, just to like roll off a little bit, and it just drags the whole field back up. It's so draft dependent. But back to the front, Darren McKenzie's actually decided to lead this race now and drop down onto the inside line with Paul Drady, I believe, behind him. That's Ruben Phelps. So Darren McKenzie now wanting to lead from the front. So he wasn't comfortable on that outside line. He wanted to jump down in front and lead this one, and he does that. Paul Drady on the outside with Joshua Carroll-Walden. He's slowly made his way up now as well from Natari Autosports on that second back on the outside line. JCW, a little time off the rig while he was travelling last year over in Europe, but he's back and he's here to prove a point, and we can see that here tonight as he's trying to push on the outside here, lap 9 of 80.
Yeah, keep an eye on the 35. He knows how to run these races. He can sometimes be pretty aggressive with the way he drives them. So keep an eye on it just to see if the other guys are able to keep up. But you can see just a little bit of pressure that JCW is putting on that outside line, just trying to get that line moving as they were sort of spread out a little bit at the top. But now they've gathered all back up, and you can see them starting to move. They will almost be clear now of the O2, which they are, as they try to drop down. And he gets down there nicely. Nice move.
Yeah, good move there by JCW. He wanted to run at the front as well. He got that clear and he's down. So we'll interesting to see if Darren's willing to work with him now. He just pokes his nose out a little bit down the straight. But have a look. Look who's coming up in the background. Started about 14th or 15th in this race. The 31 Mitch Motorsports, Josh Mickelmore, making his way forward. So look out for him as well. He's coming, and a lot of people are trying to make their way forward. It's interesting to see the different strategies here. Guys are wanting to push to the front. Guys are wanting to stay at the front. There's guys that are wanting to stay at the back, just waiting for the big one. Will it happen? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, that's it. You can see little Ryan Jones in their Audi car. He's didn't have a great qualifying session by the looks of it, but he's, like I said, he's slowly working his way through too. So they're just picking the lines as they move. But yeah, sometimes you go to the top, you make a spot. You'll drop down and grab another spot, or sometimes you'll lose 2 spots. So it ebbs and flows throughout the whole race. As you can see, the top line, and what have we got? 6-7 cars on the top line now, so it's starting to thin out a little bit more. We'll see what they decide to do, see if the other guys try to jump in and ride. I'd say at the front here, the pressure's on, so they're looking to keep that pressure up, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. And Norman's coming there as well. He's on the back. He's fourth on the outside, fourth back on the outside line in the 09, Norman Clark. So Norman Clark from New Zealand, making his way up into the top 8 early doors of this one, lap 12 of 80. Oh, there was nearly a moment there coming onto the backstretch, Dave. I thought he was in the fence.
Yeah, I think that may have been deliberate fall. No, I think he tried to get the side draft, and sometimes it can work for you to get the side draft and slingshot onto the back straight if you go up towards the fence. So I think he may have tried that, but he definitely got close because he does it again. He goes up to the top. So you just watch. I think it's Drady there on the outside. So he'll actually try to get down on the door or close to it, not too close, and then he'll actually sweep up to the top on the exit.
And it's good that you we'll go to the nose cam on JCW, and as we do that, it's really good you mentioned that, because side draft is really big in these cars, in these trucks rather. Side draft does work, but there is a line, and there is a line of how close you can get, and you made a really perfect point then. You can get really close, use that side draft and sling up to get the run, and it's so easy to also get that wrong.
Yeah, it's easy to overstep that mark because it is... What are we doing? 200 Ks and 200 mile per hour, sorry, and you're running millimeters apart. Very easy to get it wrong, and when you do get it wrong, especially at the front, it's a big one. So you want to get it right. If you do it, you don't want to be too aggressive too early, but that is definitely something to look out for at the back end of the race.
And the guys are being really gentlemanlike, mate. 14 laps into 80, not an issue so far. I know I'm going to put the commentator's curse on. You can see the guys in the background. They're just chilling, but it still is Joshua Carroll-Walden leading. He's just being followed and stalked a little bit by Darren McKenzie. Ruben Phelps, after starting off the pole, he's been happy just to settle back there, third back on the inside line. He's got his teammate Russell behind him as well. I'm sure they're going to be looking to team up with their other teammates, Matty Ray and Henderson and the likes, as the race goes on. But they're happy just to sit there third back at the moment and chill and watch this one play out.
Yeah, that third spot, that second, third spot on the inside line is sort of a safer place, if you could call it a safe place. But it just gives you an option. If something happens at the front and these guys get aggressive and someone gets turned, it gives you an option A to go left. If you're at the top, you've got no option but to sort of basically drive straight and hope you don't hit anything. But so Ruben will be comfortable right there at the moment. He's got a bit of a destiny's in his own hands sort of type of thing there. And he knows that they're not going to run too far around the outside of him. When it comes to green stops, he's in the box position. So he'd be comfortable right there at the moment.
Yeah, he definitely would. Kobe Jordan's had an issue too, ladies and gentlemen. Kobe Jordan loves the super speedways. He's gone 2 laps down. Something's happened. He might have had a connection loss or something.
Yeah, he's dropped out. He's just popped up on my screen.
Yeah, I think he's just dropped out. So that's really unfortunate for Kobe. He'll be really disappointed with that because he loves the super speedway. Hamish Gallagher as well, trying to work forward as well. So there's Brad Allison there on board as well, in behind Brad Fenley. That's Hamish Gallagher there, right at the back. So do you think it's different here, Dave, seeing Hamish sitting at the back? Considering his teammates are up at the front?
It's a long way from there to the front. So I think at the moment he's just got to just do what he can. He could probably drive up there around half of these cars, but it is a big. I mean, you're talking 40 cars. That's a big field to try and drive through to get up there. But no, I think he's just playing his cards right at the moment, playing it safe. So I reckon if he wanted to go up there, he could go up there.
Yeah, I agree with you, but no one's going to make that easy. We're nearly quarter race distance, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for everyone tuning in here, wherever you're tuning in, across Australia or all over the world. We are round number 1 of season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series here from Daytona Beach, Florida. Paul Drady is now your leader over Joshua Carroll-Walden. Sean Doki, I cannot say that. I'm so sorry, Sean. Darren McKenzie, Darren McKenzie, Josh Micklemore and Ruben Phelps. As that was interesting, but they're still too wide at the front, brother.
The VB car, I think it has to be Fenley back there maybe, but he just made a big move to the outside, I think. No, it mustn't be him. I'm not sure who it is, but yeah, someone made a move and it got a little bit loose on there. Mustn't be. Must be further up. Must have a teammate out there.
Yeah, not sure. I saw it as well, but I'm not sure. But that's Brad Fenley on screen at the moment. He's a little bit further back in the race. He's right at the back, actually.
That was the 75. It was Wesley.
Wesley Closey.
He had a bit of a brown pants moment. He's got some damage on that truck too, so not sure where that occurred. He's got some damage on the right front, so he's running into a little bit of trouble. Is there any damage on you?
Yeah, I can't. I'm not sure if anything come up for Mark on whether anything happened, but
Yeah.
I can't quite see it at the moment either. But he's back in the draft now, so it mustn't be hindering him too much. He's in behind the 127 there, so we'll see how that goes. But see how they're starting to like yo-yo now, like that rubber band effect. The more that they're running too wide at the front with these draft models, it allows the people in the back to still stay in touch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it does. And they're still too wide at the front. We're going 18 laps now into 80. So we're about 12 laps or 19 laps into 80 rather. We're about 12 laps from when they're going to hit that pit window. I want to have a look and see where Mr. Carlos Withy is, because he really wanted to come in and have a good race tonight and really concentrating on this one. So we'll see where he is. He's sitting back in the pack at the moment, just chilling. So he's playing it safe at the moment, and he's sitting in this group. He's got
Fresh new
DPR in
paint.
front of him.
Big fresh new skin on it. Look at it, nice and shiny,
Yeah,
nice and
good
clean.
that. And he painted it himself, as he said.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Looks hot.
Not only is he a commentator, he can paint cars too, sitting in 35th. That's Lachlan Urquio up in front of him as well. Lockie, absolutely no mug. He's sitting back there as well. Lockie's actually a bit of a short track specialist, Dave. He loves the short track, so a little bit different here at Daytona.
Yeah, it's a lot different here. But at the front, you can see Drady's actually just got clear of JCW in the bottom line at this point in time. We've lost DMAC.
Ooh.
He was in that bottom line. He was behind the 35. There he's still not there. There he is. He's on the apron. He's come back. Geez, that was scary for the guys at the front, I bet. So you see how much that changed and affected the momentum. So the
yeah, we'll go back and have a look at what happened with Darren there, Dave. As you're breaking up a little bit, I'm not sure whether that's me.
Long. Just
I'm not sure, Mark, whether that's me or Dave, but I can't hear Dave, so I'm just going to keep talking.
Yeah, it was definitely Dave. Dave's having some mic issues by the sound of it.
I think there's some connection issues, mate. I've had that as well. I did a race today, and I think it might be an iRacing thing. And you saw that with Darren McKenzie. He obviously had a bit of a connection issue and knew that he had that, and dropped down to try and get out of everyone's road. So great job there by the 02 of Darren McKenzie. But hopefully that doesn't happen again. Josh Mickelmore now trying to get the lead in the 31 Mitch Motorsports car. So he's now moved up from in the mid-teens to leading that outside top line. He's got Joshua Carroll Walden on the... that's Sean on the outside, I believe. But we're still green flag racing, 21 of 80. Let's go on board with Josh Mickelmore. Let's watch the 31 Mitch Motorsports for a couple of laps. Let me catch my breath. Let Dave to get back in and get his connection sorted, and we'll be back in a couple of laps here for round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series.
Right.
How good are those? How good are those pictures, ladies and gentlemen? On board with Josh Mickelmore. That's Storm and Norman Clark out of New Zealand from Natari Autosports, right up on his rear bumper as they make their way down the straight. That's how close it is here, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 25 of 80, if you don't mind. All green flag running, not a caution. I'm trying to put the commentator's curse on, but it's just not happening, Mark.
No, it's definitely not working tonight. Any other night, we talk about someone and we'd be having spinning cars everywhere. But the boys are doing really well for the opening round of the truck series. So it's good to see a big field, and at the moment we've only just lost the one. But by the looks of it, Kobe's back into the race, so we'll double check on that. Yep, there he is. The leaders are about to get him. So obviously, like you said, Aidan, he's been having some connection issues.
Yeah, it looks like he has, and he'll be really disappointed about that. He'll get out of the way here and let them go. He's just going to try circulate now and try get some points. As we know, anything can happen at Daytona, so the race is still not over for him, but it's definitely a long road back. Just sitting on that high line, he'll continue to do that as Josh Mickelmore leads the field up to him at the moment. So we're about to go 3 wide as they come down through the tri-oval for the 26th time tonight out of 80 of asking. So here we go. Kobe's just going to stay up on that outside line and let them through, as that was really, really close. And yeah, he's let them through. But amazing driving by all drivers at the moment. Josh Mickelmore now clearly leading the field. He's that 2-line running has stopped a little bit. You can see him 2 lines in the back. Obviously, they had to navigate through a lap car as well. So we'll see if that high line can start and pick up that momentum again and make their way to the front. And you can see it's doing that right now. So they're coming up on the outside. I'm not sure who that is. That might be Jack Barrett, maybe, on the outside line, leading that one.
81, it's Brendan Henderson.
Brenton Henderson. So the man we've been talking about, Brenton Henderson from SRM, sitting there on the outside line. He's wanting to have a go at the front of this motor race as well. 27 of 80. Still green flag running. We're coming into the pit window, gentlemen. 6 laps to go, and we're going to see people start blinking into pit lanes. So we'll see how that happens. They're going to want to form up with their teammates.
Like
Josh Mickelmore in now. All right, so it's not 33 laps. Joshy's into pit lane. Interesting. So there we go. There's the first blink by the leader. He's into pit lane. Brenton Henderson stays out, and he assumes the lead of this motor race over Jack Barrett, Liam James, Paul Drady, Sean Dookie, I can't say it. Sorry, Sean, you're going to kill me for this. Joshua Carroll-Walden, Max Cooper, Wesley Closey, and Ruben Phelps back into the 9th position after starting off the pole.
Yeah, it's Ruben will be trying to get up with some teammates. Like himself and Russell have been joined at the hip for the first 28 laps, but I think they'd be looking for Matty Raymond and Lachlan to get up there with him and form a chain of 4 cars.
Yeah, they definitely will. And it's interesting, Josh and a couple other guys went down pit lane. So these guys in front didn't come down pit lane again. So that's an interesting fuel strategy from those guys. We know that it was going to be a 2-stopper and there was going to be a short top-up if it went green. So they're obviously seeing it's going to go green. They're thinking something, and they obviously know something we don't. So we'll keep an eye on that as the race pans out as well. Dave, I believe you're back with us, mate, with 29 into 80. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I had a big brain fart, mate. Yeah, internet dropped out, something went on. Had the same thing D-Mac had, but lucky he stayed in. But another thing I was just thinking that can be done, but it requires a few more cars, is if you stop early enough and get away from that big kerfuffle, you can actually make time, but it requires the guys to be aggressive when they come back out, and you need to get right back into pushing straight away. So we'll see if that helps. It is did you say the Mitch cars went in?
Yeah.
One Mitch car went in, I think. I'm just trying to work it out.
Yeah, I don't really know. We'll actually bring you back to that shortly, ladies and gentlemen, when we see that. But at the moment, it is still Brenton Henderson leading the way. We're on board with Ruben Phelps at the moment out of New Zealand in the 06. Tell you what, Dave, this guy has had some sensational results lately. He has transitioned across to virtual reality in the last 12 months, and it seems like it's just taken him to the next level.
Yeah, it'll make a difference being 3D, it makes a bit better for depth perception, as it looks like the
Brett Campbell in the
Brett
pit.
Campbell's coming on his
Brett
own.
Campbell
That's
in the pit lane.
a bit of suicide to come in on your own at Daytona like that, but he's got his plan, he's sticking to it. But yeah, no, he's trucking along okay. He's got his teammate who's been loyal this whole run. They're sitting right behind him there. So there's a couple of Mitch cars. So they must have been the ones that came in. So if they come in and if they push aggressively here, they won't lose too much time. And sometimes you can even overcut if you're really good at pushing.
I think they're going to do this, mate, and I think you hit the nail on the head. That's Josh Mickelmore in the 31, Danny G in the 24. You do have Norman Clark in the 09. He'll work with them as well. And the man, Hamish Gallagher, that was right at the back early, sitting on the back of this little train at the moment. So 3 Mitch Motorsports guys there, and Norman Clark just working with them, trying to get their way up. So this is a really good, not battle, because they're not going to battle, but this is really good to watch over the next couple of laps to see how they gain time on this field. Brett Campbell's coming out of pit lane, so he's going to try and drag onto the back of this. It looks like he may have just got left a little bit, but yeah, Brett Campbell out of pit lane, and now he's a little bit stranded.
Yeah, he'll be on his own there. He won't be able to catch up that now. But yeah, that's what I thought. If the Mitch cars stopped altogether, they may be able to do it because they're good enough to be able to push in a little 4-car draft, you know. So yeah, it's a good plan. Let's see if it pays off for them.
And sorry, Mark, can we just go back to Brett Campbell for a second? Because Brett Campbell's running a livery, and it's something that's really close to his heart. And I need to really shout this out because a lot of the guys throughout the sim world, they support a lot of communities and a lot of programs. And he's actually running, obviously, you can see the nice bright yellow livery, but it is the Golden Octopus Foundation, which he's supporting, which is about children who have recently been diagnosed with cancer. He's really, really passionate about that. And he's obviously gone through his own struggles personally with cancer in the real world. And a lot of people do, and it's absolutely this deadly C word, as we say. But have a look at that, the Golden Octopus Foundation from Brett Campbell. Doing a good job supporting them, and they support him. So hopefully you can have a good run tonight.
I noticed in my absence, Brenton Henderson's moved to the lead. I think I heard someone say that before, but he.
Oh, now we go.
Jesus,
we go.
A few of them coming.
Oh,
there's the contact. I said there's going to be contact in the pit lane.
Fenley's around. I think that was
always that chance. Yeah, Fenley, and it might have been the 25 of Ruben Phelps' teammate, 24. I'm not sure who it is, but Jack, I think it is. I think his name was. They made contact. So we did mention it. Green flag stops. That they're hard, and there's also that chance of contact. So Henderson, I was telling you to look out for, and he's actually missed his box and gone straight through. I'm sure that's him on screen.
Yeah,
it is him on screen. He's missed his box.
I think you've got that right. That is night almost done for Brenton. We'll have a look at Sean Dookie.
He's going to have to get round, and hopefully he's got enough fuel in the tank to get another stop. But, yeah, that's going to hurt really bad. As we go for a little replay here, Sean, I think it's past the fact.
Yeah.
He's on his way out of the lane. So that's bad news for Brenton Henderson. We'll just give him a wrap and, put the mockers on him proper.
He's not going to be happy with that one, mate. But I tell you what, there's still a long way to go. Anything can happen. We'll see as the 127 makes his way out of pit lane. But what I'm really interested to see, here's the Mitch guys, right?
Yeah, this is really good. The blend.
Where do they fall in the blend, as you say, with people?
Them.
I think they've left them for dead, to be honest. Carl Withy leading the race at the moment.
The 65 big Carlos. So everybody else coming to pit lane, that means around that last stop. So basically the whole field's come down and left Carl and Jason Nicholas out there. So we're about to find out where it all shakes out here. In about 35 odd seconds, I reckon.
Well, Carl's down pit lane too, so he's one of the last cars to transition down.
He's nearly going to get hit here. Oh, jeez, he was coming hot. Carl saw him coming through. He jinked it right a little bit.
Yeah, he's the last one to end. The guy behind him, I don't know him. Sorry if you're watching the broadcast, to come down pit lane. So Nicholas. That was Nicholas. Sorry, Nicholas. But that's the last of the green flag pit stops. So it looks like the Mitch guys might actually take over the lead of this motor race again, and by quite a motor. And Carl's gone straight through pit lane.
Yeah, he's done the same thing as he's loose getting off as well. So it's very hard. You have 40 car field, you remember, and you have to find your guys standing there and find your little sign amongst all the other colours down pit lane. So, and he's out of fuel, I reckon. He's out of fuel.
That's it. I reckon we're going to see Carl up in the broadcast booth pretty bloody shortly, and he's going to be really disappointed with that one, guys.
So he's at the toe.
So unfortunate.
He's at the toe. He might stay in there. So we can see now with this group. So this is JCW. Remember, he was at the front of that little line earlier. So now they're drawn up beside the Mitch guys. So I think this is the battle for the lead.
Yeah, it's a battle. It's a battle for the lead, and your Rowdy man is sitting there on the inside of the front of the inside line. That's Mr. Ryan Jones. But what will also be interesting here, Dave, is the Mitch Motorsports guys pitted a lot earlier, so it's going to be the same again. How that's going to play out if we do get a caution is going to be interesting as well. So different strategies happening here from different drivers. Drady still sitting there as well, having a good run in front of the 127. And Norman Clark now wanting to come down to the low line. So he's left the Mitch Motorsports guys and he's come down onto the low line. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so you'd have to imagine that the Mitch guys had a plan of fuel runs. You wouldn't just come down any earlier than that there. So surely they've worked out the numbers that they can get home by stopping that early. So if they can't, then they've really done it themselves. But yeah, you would hope an outfit like the Mitch guys, they would have summed that up pretty well. And now they've got themselves into the top half of the field, and Hamish is all over. He's got D-Mac actually on the outside trying to get to his bumper. So they're going to be in good company very soon.
Have a look who's coming on the outside line though there, Davo. Matty Ray, your Summer Series Truck champion from Weekend Warriors, up into the 14th position now. So he's actually notorious for wanting to start at the back and making his way through, and he's doing exactly that at the moment as they come up on Lachlan Urquio going a lap down. So he's had an issue through the pit stops as well.
Yeah, it's strange. I'm not sure what happened there, but it's the same deal. He could have missed his box, missed the entry, something like that. It's very hard to come from 200 mile an hour down to 55, I think it is.
Okay, we're getting word now here, Davo, that he was mixed up with that spin into pit lane. So
he's trying to avoid that. So he may have missed pit lane altogether, had to go around again. But look, he didn't get any damage out of it, which will be hopeful. So hopefully he just gets in behind here and he gives himself a lucky dog spot. That way he can get back in this race if the yellow flies.
Let's not say if it's going to happen. It's going to happen, mate. It'll happen.
It better happen.
It better happen. Otherwise, it's going to be a nice, easy night in the box here for him.
Yeah, too easy.
Watching them turn left and circulate. Yeah, but they're going good at the moment. Another car on the outside. I think that's Paul Drady just moving up to the outside, maybe moving back a little bit, or that's a lap car maybe. But Ryan Jones up into the first position. He's got Joshua Carroll-Walden in second there on the inside line. Those Mitch guys on the outside are still holding fast on the outside. Sorry, not inside. And Darren McKenzie back up there as well after having nearly a disconnection and dropping right back into the midfield, back up into the top 8.
Yeah, it would have been a bit unsettling, not knowing where the cars were or whatever. He did the right thing, though, dropped down to the apron. So when he did pop back in, he was in a nice, pretty well safe place on the back straight there. So smart driving by him, and survived a little bit and tell the story.
That's it. But Ryan Jones still leading the way. There's a little bit of a breakaway now. There's about the first 15, 16 cars breaking away. You can see in the background there, Brett Campbell, though, who got left out to dry there on his pit stop. He's in a little group in the second group as well. Watch these guys to maybe pull up onto the back of that. Just keep one eye on that, ladies and gentlemen, as the race goes on. The high line's sort of stalling at the moment, not really getting much momentum. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's because of 35. So really the one that dictates the top and bottom line is the second car on the bottom. So if he goes for a push, he can usually push out. Top line, they'll get a gain, but the bottom line tends to be the faster lane. But if that second car in line on the lower side backs off, the top will go fast. If the guy down the bottom lane, second lap, pushes, they'll go faster on the bottom lane. So that guy, where JCW is, that guy in second, he dictates the surges, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
You'll see Josh might get a push right up to the front here, but then he's going to hit all the aero in front. He won't be able to clear without them giving him a big shove. And then all the guy on the bottom of it has to do is JCW's just got to give him a little push, and they won't be able to clear it. So,
and I don't think they're going to try to do that, Dave. I think they're too smart for that. I think they're just putting themselves in the fuel window at the moment and sitting there. If they push too hard and try and do that, I don't think that's going to be beneficial. I could be wrong, but they're very smart drivers and smart operators. So I think they're sitting there at the moment. They're just putting themselves in the window.
Yeah,
But it's also going to be interesting as well because they're on the outside line. So they're going to need to pit for fuel before anyone that's on that inside line. So how are they going to get track position to even come into pit lane? That's going to be interesting as well. So a lot to play out.
Yeah, well, that's right. So that's ebbs and flows come with your the lines as such. So it makes it interesting when you come down as they pass Henderson. I think that's on the outside, who was leading the race prior to green flag stops. Remember, so that has crippled his run. He may even be might be the second lap down. Oh, contact!
Oh, in the wall.
He'll stay. Oh, there's a car went through pit lane too. I think someone's going to
really good driving there. Sorry, Dave, to cut you off. That was really good driving there from Brenton Henderson. That could have been a big one. He kept it up in the wall, and it stays green here. 43 laps of 80.
Go back and look at it.
Yeah, so a bad night goes from bad to worse for Hendo, unfortunately.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Brenton.
Up there just a little bit further, but I think one of the cars may have had to take evasive action. She's a Carl in the background too, coming out of the pit lane. So he he got towed and fueled up, and he's back out there.
He's definitely committed. He's out there. He's going again. I thought we would have seen him up in the broadcast booth, but he's out there. Oh, Paul Drady down underneath the yellow.
And the 11 must have went up to block a run maybe, or went around a lap car, and it's just mixed this field up a little bit here.
Yeah, interesting. It's definitely starting to heat up. Well, they've been very, very patient for 44 of 80, but it's definitely heating up here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to everyone tuning in here across the world, across Australia, anywhere that you're tuning in for. This is ANZCAR Trucks, round number 1, season number 1 of 2023. It's definitely not disappointing. 44 into 80. I cannot wait to see the end of this one. Ryan Jones currently leading the field over Joshua Carroll-Walden, Josh Mickelmore and Danny G in the 3rd and 4th position, with Paul Drady and Hamish Gallagher rounding out your 6th. Jack Barrett and Darren McKenzie in the 6th, 7th and 8th position as well. So definitely a lot to play out. There's a car there with a lot of damage on the outside. That's the 127 there. And that's Jack Barrett. He's got a lot of damage on the outside of that truck.
So
on the outside of that truck. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Hamish dropped down to the line there, so it left 42 and Luke Kenny. 42's lap down, but Luke Kenny on the outside there. So Luke will have to push him pretty hard if he wants to keep that momentum up. But yeah, the Mitch guys just got in line there. I'd say the guys helped that happen, as I'm not exactly sure where Hamish ended up, but he's definitely down there with them as well.
Yeah, Luke wanting to try and get down to the low line. He's going to have to work with Lockie here for a little bit. Lockie is a lap down, but he's going to have to work with him for a little bit to be able to get in a position to get back down onto that low line. Gary Wellman now making his way up as well. That's him in the green Simboys card. There we go. He's gone down. He's going to work with Gazza as well. So good job there by Luke. He's got back down into the low line, and he's going to go status quo in his new colours, Quantum Motorsport, by the way.
Jai Schultz just behind him too in the 271.
Yeah, 100%. Don't rot off, Jai. Good steerer. We've said that all night. He's there or thereabouts. He'll be there. Still a long way to go, 46 of 80. But Jai Schultz is definitely one to look out for in the 270 there here.
I've got a question for you, Dave. I've got the advantage of my timing, and we will have that up for you for the viewers next week. Most of these guys' pit stops were in the 14 seconds. So would they have taken tyres, or would they have just done the fuel?
Do they have full tanks? If they've got full tanks, like percentage, do you know?
Yeah, it's 100% fuel.
If it's 100% fuel, you take tyres.
You reckon?
Yeah, Lockie looked like he tried to get down to the bottom line there, got out of shape. He looks like he saved it in the background there, but there's a car around. We're going yellow.
We're going yellow. Yellow for the first time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 47 of 80. Lachlan Urquio with a moment there through 3 and 4. We'll go back when it's available and see what happened, and we'll come back and talk to you about that fuel and tyre strategy once we go through this. But yellow for the first time tonight, Davo, 47 of 80.
Yeah, so something's happened there. I think Lockie maybe because I can't go back myself, so I'll have to get Mark to try and find it. But it looks like he's tried to transition to the lower line. Something's happened. Someone's maybe hooked him. And then he was down the apron, and then maybe another car got involved. I saw someone up in the walls. I think that's what caused the yellow. But, not a good night for Lockie. He's gone to that lap down and now had an incident. So, we'll see if we can try and find a replay. But, you're going back to the fuel. If you got full tanks, it takes the same amount as full tyres. So you might as well take tyres as free shot. So if you have anything less than 100%, don't take tyres.
Yeah, copy. That's where you've just taught me something. But yeah, Lockie unfortunately having an issue there. But you know what this does, guys? It brings us into the green flag run to the end. They'll have enough fuel if they pit now to get to the end. So that's going to be really interesting to see who decides to come down pit lane. I'm sure everyone will. There's no reason for them not to. So we're literally about to reset. We went lap number 1 up to 47 laps as we go through the replay at the moment of Lachlan Urquio, I believe. No? Sean Dookie, actually.
If you can just rewind that a little bit for us there, Mark. Even if you rewind, it's okay, mate. We don't. So where's that?
Yeah, right. It's interesting. That's interesting. So we weren't able to find that, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, but there definitely was an issue. We know Lachlan Urquio was involved in some point, whether he brought out the caution. But we've gone caution, and it's pretty much reset now, Dave. 48 of 80. It's pretty much like a full race restart now.
Yeah, but you can guarantee off this restart, it's not going to be Mr. Nice Guy anymore. It's time to start racing. If there's still going to be at least 30 odd cars probably on the lead lap here as everybody comes in, gets their tyres fueled up, get everything they can, get a little bit of damage fixed maybe. Look at all them cars. It's like a shopping centre at Christmas time, Boxing Day or the day before. So everyone's going to get what they can, and the intensity is going to pick up 100%.
100% it will. And how good is it for ANZCAR? Round number 1, season number 1 of 2023, full stacked field. How good is that? They've gone 48 laps, no caution. How good is this? And ladies and gentlemen, anyone tuning in here across the world or in Australia, if you want to be a part of the best NASCAR league in Australia, go on to anzcar.com.au and register your interest. Anyone's welcome to come and do the trucks, first in, first in, best dressed rather. Of course, the Cup, they've charters, and that's pretty much set, but you're still welcome to come in and try and qualify your way in. If you want to be a part of this, and you want to be a part of the best NASCAR league here in Australia and New Zealand, and compete against these drivers, go on to anzcar.com.au and have a look at what it's all about, because this is amazing racing, and this is what it's all about here for NASCAR. As we're about to go 49 or 50 laps of 80, there'll be 30 to go. They've got a full tank of fuel. There's going to be elbows out, and do not tune off, ladies and gentlemen, because you're about to see some of the best NASCAR racing you've ever seen.
So, Dave, with this yellow, would anyone have short filled for this to try and save a little bit of time and some weight?
No, I think you just got to take your full tanks here. Just because of the way the racing is, you'll still end up at the same position. You'll have to take full tanks here, and I'm not sure. I think you might even do a bit of saving too, because it's 30 laps right now. So if you're out front, maybe the lead car, it may use more fuel. Obviously, it may not make it. So it'd be interesting to see who is leading the lines, and to see if the guys jump back in line or something like that, just to try and save fuel.
Yeah, it definitely will be interesting. There's so many things to play out here. They've all got a full tank of fuel now. They're all good to go to the end. I'd suggest they all take tyres. If they didn't, it'll be interesting off this restart as well, because you and I both know, Dave, you don't take tyres and off a restart, you're going to spin up the rears in these trucks. They are very light on the rear, but it will be Joshua Carroll Walden, JCW as we know him, will lead us to the green here. And it is the rowdy energy man, Mr. Ryan Jones, on the outside. Have a look at who's there. Your pick, the 02 D-Max, still sitting there stalking, second back on the inside, and Danny G there as well. Jai Schultz back there in the background. We've also got Josh Micklemore. He's still up there as well. So Paul Drady doing a great job tonight too, Dave. He's been there or thereabouts all night, and he's sitting there.
He's been going really good, actually. He's been running pretty aggressive at the front, so it's he's having a great day out, to be honest. But if the guys are listening now that we're in that yellow incident before, jump in the infield care centre and have a chat to us. We're just trying to unfold what actually happened there. So if you are listening, jump in there. We'll have a chat. Lockie, that's you, or I'm not sure you're still out there, and whoever else may have been involved. But we're about to go green here again.
Yeah, we are. As we're about to go green, and it will be Joshua Carroll Walden leading us to the green this time around. We've got the green flag now, and we are going green. Joshua Carroll and Darren McKenzie with a good jump there on the inside. Ryan Jones on the outside with Danny G right behind him as well. That inside line will pick up momentum. We'll see what that outside line does as well. Who's willing to work with who? There's a lot of people. It's really interesting here, Dave. There's a lot of people and not really many teams apart from the likes of Josh and Danny G that are together to work with each other. So this is going to be really interesting in the final laps of this race.
Yeah, the way I see it is, on a restart, even if you've got teammates around, you just got to get going first. Get yourself, get up to speed. After 3 laps, once you work out where you are, where the other guys are, then you start to find yourselves. But at this point in time, you just got to go for it. You see Jones, he just went up the track there. I don't know if he meant to go that high, or whether he was just trying not to lead the line. I think he might want to jump down and not lead that top line. So he's already thinking about fuel, I reckon. But it may cost him a few more positions as he's going to get hung up to dry now.
Yeah, well, he's definitely made a decisive decision there to drop back. So he's done that on purpose. That's not from making a mistake. He's done that on purpose. So we'll see what happens. And he's continually staying up there on the high line. So that's really interesting from Ryan. Driving smart. We'll see whether that pays out in the end. But Danny G and Hamish Gallagher trying to get the run. They've cleared. And now they've come down into the front. And they're going to lead the motor race over Joshua Carroll. Yeah, okay.
You see the sensing that the intensity in the front pack is possibly a wreck, but yeah, he's dropped all the way right down to the back of that pack now. So yeah, You're right. Mark's all over it. So Mark, our producer, was calling for a break, and that's what he got. So he was on the outside lane. That does happen from time to time. That there is a bit of a, I'm going to say, glitch in the system there that you can get done, even though he was behind.
And I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Davo, are they running the Geico restart zones or is it on iRacing? Because some leagues do.
Restarts are on.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that's probably what's caught him out there.
Recently with this same track, that restart zone. So at the moment there's a thing, so he may have been caught out by that. I reckon, I don't know exactly what it is, but if you're doing higher speed than the guy on the inside, even though you're behind him, I reckon you get pinged.
Yeah, it's definitely happened to me, mate. So I reckon that might have been what has happened to him as well. But Adam Malone now pushing up on the outside line. He's going to look to work with Darren McKenzie at some point. Darren's actually dropped a little bit back there on the inside line. He's about 6 or 7 or 8 deep now on the inside line, rather. But Adam Malone now trying to push his way to the front. Luke Kenny up there. Look at the man, Luke Kenny. Come on, boy, on the outside. Doing a good job as well, 54 of 80.
Yeah, Luke Kenny giving a little push up there, right? He's got Mickamore for company behind him, so he's in good company. You got Stormy Norman back there. He's making his way forward. Oh, Luke Kenny's having a little bit of a wobble there. Hold her straight, son, hold her straight, mate. But he's going to need to just stick in behind there and just try and work with these boys at the moment, and he might find himself in a good position here.
Yeah, he's been doing well. He's been doing well all night as well, and he just needs to take a deep breath here. There's a long way to go. Dylan O'Shea, though, doing well as well. He's up into the 11th position. So Dylan, you can see there from DPR, he's been back in the field most of the night. He's been waiting, and now his time to move forward. 55 and 80, 25 to go. It's a little bit of a game of chess at the moment, Davo. They're all just feeling each other out and seeing what's happening, and who's willing to push it early, who's not.
Well, that's it, mate. It's getting down to the time where you need to be, because there's a lot of cars in that lead lap. So you got to start thinking about being in that top half of the field, because come with 10, 15 laps to go, that's go time. You've got to get your way to the front somehow. So you can see the lines. They're all nice and tightly packed in there now, 2 wide all the way down the field. They're stepping it up a notch.
Yeah, well, if we go on, and sorry to sort of change tact again, Dave. I know it's hard. We don't have live time, and we're sort of going here, there, and everywhere. I think we're doing a good job, actually. I think it's a good call. But Dylan O'Shea started 24th, currently in 10th. He's been up as high as 8th, obviously as low as 34th. That's 15 position changes. His last lap was a 48.613, and his fastest lap so far is a 47.216. We take no notice of that because it's all draft dependent and depending on where you are. But Dylan O'Shea, no mug and no surprise to see him making his way forward in this field when it counts.
Yeah, mate, definitely. and back in the series, I believe he was out towards the end of that series. I can't remember, but I'm sure that he wasn't in this series for the second half of that year. So back in the series, looking to have a good run tonight. But you can see Josh Schultz there in the 270s, moved himself up there as well. He's got JCW in the 35, who knows how to get it done at Daytona. So he's got good company as well. So it's a good little pack forming up here. We got Luke Kenny's giving him a good shot. There's a bit of a check up.
That was really good driving there by Josh Mickelmore. He saw that coming. Yeah. That could have been a really big one. So
it might have been just a little bit of a push there. He got loose. Josh was able to see it. They both checked up, and they both continue on. That turns into a big one sometimes. As Luke sitting a bit high on the track. Yeah, he's sitting a little bit too high there. Josh was thinking about it. As I'm telling you, Josh caught him a break there. I think Josh maybe thought about going in inside Mickelmore as Luke just came back down. So Luke just needs to try and keep that straight there and keep it in line. And he shouldn't have any problems. But you can see how much they've set the momentum. They've dropped back at least 6 cars on it outside now, just from that little momentum change on the back straight. So that's 1 lap. So they've got to work all that momentum back up again. You may even see some of the guys on the bottom jump up in front of that line this time.
Yeah, exactly. Luke just needs to take a nice deep breath at the moment and chill out. He's been having a good run all night. Jai Schultz, though, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he was always one to look out for, sitting there in third. It is still the Mitch guys leading the way. It is Danny G over Hamish Gallagher and Jai Schultz. Joshua Cal-Walden sitting there in fourth.
See the guys jumping up over that bottom line. So 3 guys have already jumped up. So you got the Sim Boys car, which I think is Finlay and Gazza and DMAC and Malone have all jumped up and headed that top line now. So they're looking to take that momentum over. But I can tell you what, when you're the driver in the bottom line, second or third, and you see that momentum go and they disappear, you've got a big smile. You think, that's good. That's a bit of a pressure relief valve. But then you start seeing them come back. Here we go again.
Yeah, it's reset and go again. This is Daytona, baby, and we're too wide. We're 59 of 80. It's all about the play out. Don't be surprised if there's another big one. Hopefully there's not, but this is sensational driving by everyone as the Sim Boys getting a big run on the outside there, Dave.
The Sim Boys are coming. And they've got good teammates behind them too. You've got 2 teammates behind them, so they're going to be working together as well. So that's not a bad little lineup on that top line at the moment. They've got a lap car coming through, which is Jonesy. We'll see if he stays there and goes high. You don't have to, but etiquette is to go high. But if he was to let him know and he can stay low, he'll jump right back on the back of this pack. But I'd say he'll just move up high and let him go by.
Yeah, and anyone tuning in here on the network, wherever you're tuning in, there is no rules with that in NASCAR. You do not need to let them by. It's all fair game, but there's a bit of etiquette and gentlemen, and I think that Ryan will do that as well as he does that, you see on the outside line there. So he's just letting them all go. But the Sim Boys trying to have a good run on the outside, but Mitch Motorsport's doing a great job leading this one from the front. They've been flawless all night. Jai Schultz still sitting there in that prime position that you say there, Dave, in third line back on the inside. So keep an eye on him, but it could be literally anyone. Have a look at it. We're about to go 3 wide in the next couple of laps, mate.
You can see Jonesy up there, so he's going to be looking for the guy because he's in looking for a lucky dog position. So there'll be a few cars a lap down in that pack. He'll have to find out who it is and race them to be ahead of him, just in case the accident comes and yellow comes out. He wants to be ahead, but you do have to stay out of that accident to be able to get that free pass. So massive momentum on the outside. Look at that check up on the low side.
Yeah, right. So there we go. He's fighting Russell Bratka for the lucky dog. But have a look at the momentum with no draft on the outside. He's just driving around the outside of him at the moment. He's got his head into it, and he's into us. So we'll see what happens here.
And at the same time, he's got nothing to lose. So coming down to 18 laps to go. He's doing what he's got to do now to try and stay in this race. So that's his only option, is to be aggressive now, and that's what he's doing. As he's going to get a break here and just drop in. But don't be surprised if the momentum comes again and he goes out to the outside again.
Yeah, I reckon he will when the time is right. But have a look. The wily old fox, the 03 of Brad Allison, sitting there as well. He's on the inside line. Don't write him off in this one as well. Matty Ray just in front of him. Big check up there by Brad.
Again, yeah, it's interesting that bottom line's getting that big check up in the 3. You got Van Curvis up there. He's got Ruben Phelps, who for the majority of this race has been up towards the front. So he's a little bit buried in his pack. So it's going to be interesting to see what Ruben does to try and get out of this and work his way forward here. So he's got a gap there, just a quick gap, but yeah, it closes very quick as the runs come. And if you if you move too late, you get run over, or you get hooked into that outside fence and it's not over.
Yeah, Ruben's a little bit boxed at the moment, and he's smart. He's going to make right decisions. It's still 63 of 80, and you might think it's about to get elbows out, but it's definitely not elbows out quite yet. Ruben's smart. He'll put himself in a position. He's going to be looking for Matty Ray. He's just one car behind him. You can see that as well. He's going to be looking to team up with him as well as the race progresses. We'll see how that goes. Norman Clark's still having a great job. He's on the a great drive rather. He's on the outside there behind Luke Kenny, who's got back into his groove and sat there on the outside line. I'm really interested to see this outside line because you've got some super speedway specialists there on the outside line. The likes being of Darren McKenzie, the Sim Boys cars of Wellman and Finlay. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here, but the Mitch boys are still holding fast at the front.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to be working down to 15 laps to go. No, 25, sorry. I'm ahead of myself here. So
15.
No, yeah, you're right. So, yeah, we are getting down to a crucial. You watch the intensity pick up when it's 10 to go, and then you double it when it gets to 5 to go. Then you'll start seeing some moves. You'll see some side drops. You'll see some bumping and carrying on. So it's about to ramp up a bit here.
But how good is it, Dave? Like, we've gone 64 laps, a full stacked field of 40 trucks, one caution, which really wasn't even a crash. It was just like amazing driving by everyone to be able to keep clean for so long. And it's going to give us an absolute stonker of a finish.
Yeah, absolutely. As I'm having a little bit connection there, but we've got Stevie Dove making a move up the middle. I think that is, or it might be Dylan O'Shea. One of the DPR cars just made a split up the middle.
Josh Mickelmore getting
car coming through. We're going to be 4 wide here. We're about to be 4 wide. What happens here? Oh, he backs out of it.
I was just about to say, Josh Mickelmore getting boxed in a little bit there in the 31 Mitch Motorsports. He's dropped back a little bit. So.
Yes, if you remember, they had that big check-up on the top line with Luke Kenny, so that's how much it cost that car there. So he actually lost out more than Luke by just, being a few cars back.
Well, let's go on board with let's maybe go on board with Luke Kenny. Let's give him a bit of airtime as someone just blinks out at him in front of him. Let's give him a bit of airtime. He'll love it. We'll go on board with Luke Kenny, the 27 from Quantum Motorsports. We'll be quiet for a couple of laps. Enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it's like to be in the thick of things here at Daytona for the ANZCAR Truck Series Season 1, Round 1 here at Daytona Beach, Florida. A good call there, David.
We've got a yellow. We missed it. We're going to see if we can try and find it back, but it happened out the back of the pack somewhere because obviously we're riding on board with Luke Kenny and nothing happened up front. So this is going to open the door for a few people here. We'll see if we can get a replay. We might have a replay on board. Oh, it's Carl Withy and
Brett Campbell. Oh, no.
Involved. Who are we riding on board with there, Mark? Is that...
It's a green car. Is that Fenley? Maybe?
Wesley. So maybe they were pushing that 3 wide limit. As I said, some of these guys at the back had to start making some moves and trying to move forward. So whether or not those direct calls, I don't know if we can go back for another quick look from the outside there, Mark. Here we go. So, check up in front of Dylan O'Shea and Josh Mickelmore. Something happened up the front there.
That's a big one. Troy Davidson involved in that one as well. So that's a big one. We knew it was coming, 67 into 80. We didn't quite catch what happened, but...
Go again. Mark, see if you can go again, mate, and just see if we can try and just work out what actually happened there. So we're looking for the Mickelmore car. Something happened up the front with Mickelmore.
Oh, a big check up into the back. Two separate incidents there, Dave.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Carl. He saw the accident happening up front, or whoever that was. I think it was Carl. He saw the accident happen. He got on the brakes, and the old mate behind him didn't see him and just drove straight into him and got run over.
I actually think Carl got away with that one a little bit too. He'll have a bit of damage from the rear, but I reckon he might have got away with that one a little bit.
Yeah, for the most part, he probably will, yeah.
Anyway, we're on board.
Mickelmore's up here on the outside. Here we go. This is it. So you got Micah Moore out the front there. We've got Dylan O'Shea. He's pushing 3 wide. That's where it was. Dylan O'Shea pushing 3 wide. Looks like maybe the car on the outside came down a little bit from the very limited viewing we've got. We don't want to cast too much blame, but it was a 3 wide incident and around that Dylan O'Shea area. So, big ones. That's how that happened.
I think we'll just put that down to Super Speedway, Davo. That's what happens. We knew it was going to happen at some stage. The guys did a great job, 68 to 80. Only having one caution. There's the big one so far. But it is Danny G leading the field over Hamish Gallagher, Chris Finlay, Gary Wellman and Jai Schultz as we're under caution for the second time tonight, 68 of 80. Who's going to come into pit lane? Do we think people aren't good on fuel? We said that they were going to be good to the end. Is anyone going to top up? We're about to find out. I don't think so. But we also got green, white checkers to worry about as well. So interesting to see what's going to happen here, Davo.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting. Do we know who got the free pass there? Did Jonesy end up in that wreck, or did he get the free pass on that one? Are you able to see that, Mark?
Looking at the positions, I think Jonesy may have not got it. So not quite sure at the moment. We'll see when they come across the line next time around. But
Micah Moore still on the lead lap. Shane Bowen out there.
Okay, so Jonesy has got it. So that's good for Ryan.
Watch Lil Bones here. Watch the 11. It's going to get aggressive. And that 3 wide on the outside he was doing earlier, he's got to go back to that now. So there he is coming around. He's got the free pass. So now he's going to have to get aggressive and try to get to the front. 10 laps to go here. We're going to have probably about 9 or 8 on the restart. And then, as you said, we've got to think about green white checkers. I believe we're going to get 1 in ANZCAR. But there is also that chance as well. If by the time, for anyone who's new, if they don't take the white flag, if yellow comes out, it resets and gives them a 2-lap green white checker. If they take the white flag and a wreck happens, it's race to the checker flag. It's race on. It doesn't stop.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in here on the broadcast, let us know in your comments, who's your pick? We're about to go green again with under 10 laps to go when they go green. Who's your pick? I could say to you, Davo, you're on the Darren McKenzie train. He's sitting there in 7th at the moment, so he's still there. Jai Schultz has had a big thing in the broadcast. He's one to look out for as well. Danny G's now just got Hamish, so Josh Micklemore's pretty much out of that at the moment. They were working early together. Sim boys there, Finlay and Wellman, they are on the second row off the restart. Who's your pick?
I'll still stick with DMAC here, I think. But just watch these guys go to work here. The witch cars. You've got to be careful of this black flag business going on as well. But I would dare say Danny G goes earlier than the guys anticipate, and then Hamish should drop down behind him. But then watch the Sim boys. They should hook up after that then and try and push. As we're not going green this time, so we've got a delayed green here. So we're going around for one more lap.
Yeah, and we'll take this opportunity while they're under yellow. We do have Danny G, Hamish Gallagher, Finlay, Wellman, and Walden, your top 5 with Schultz, your top 6. We'll take this opportunity again. I've got to say it. If you do want to be a part of ANZCAR and you like what you're seeing here on the broadcast, please jump on to anzcar.com.au, and that's ANZCAR.com.au. Anyone's welcome to be a part of the trucks. It is first in, best dressed. We did have an issue where a lot of people didn't get in tonight. That's how wanted it is to be in this series. And one man, Dave Douglas, that's in the commentary booth, would much rather be in the car. He was one of those men. But jump on to anzcar.com.au. You can be a part of it as well. You can be a part of Cup. You can be a part of Xfinity. Cup, there is a charter system, but you're still welcome to qualify in. So if you're good enough and fast enough, you'll get in. How good is this? 70 of 80. Danny G leading the way over Hamish Gallagher, Chris Finlay and Gary Wellman as we're about to go green again and find out, hopefully, who's going to win round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series.
Yeah, if you thought it was getting intense before, now it's definitely going to ramp up here. There's not that much time left. I think we've got about 20 odd cars or so on the lead lap still. So, she's going to be interesting. And 25, I'm hearing from a producer, Mark. But you've got to also think of Ryan Jones. So because he got the free pass, he actually goes to the back of the line. So he doesn't get to start in front of the lap cars. He goes right to the back. So watch the games here at the start here. The teammates at the front. Let's see how it turns out here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're about to go green here for the third time tonight. 70 of 80, 10 laps to go. Danny G will bring us to the green, and we're green flag. Here we go, Davo. Let's go.
Finlay.
Danny G with a big jump there,
Yeah,
and Finlay's going to follow him.
Yeah, he went with him. So maybe Hamish got a little bit of wheel spin on those older tyres. I would be, if on the 45, you drop down in front maybe. I don't know if they can dictate that from the front, but yeah, it's nice to spread out here, but watch the runs come from the back now.
Yeah, Schultze got the run there too. Gary Wellman really missed out on dropping down then to help Christopher Finlay. So that was interesting for him to stay up on the outside line. So he could have dropped down in front of Josh Schultz there, but obviously didn't think he was clear. But we're green, 71 of 80, Danny G and Hamish Gallagher leading the way over Finlay, Wellman, Schultz and Joshua Carroll-Walden. Paul Drady, still the man. He's had a great night tonight, sitting there in 7th. And Darren McKenzie, the man that you've got your money on the outside row, 4th back. Adam Malone having a bit of connection issues. Hopefully that does not impact anyone late on, but watch out for those Southern Stars guys as well on the outside as this race progresses.
Yeah, so you see James, he's already moved his way up. He's trying to split the middle. He's sitting right in the middle of the track there at the moment. He's just got Josh Mickelmore in front of him, who has got some damage as well. So, yeah, interesting at the front here, because at the moment, the Mitch cars will just dictate this race. So someone's going to have to try and make something happen here. So Wellman's got to get aggressive here and push him out in front. Does Hamish go down? Yes, he does. So there you go. There's the move. So that's what Wellman needed to do. He needed to get him out in front, so it gives Wellman a chance to do something. So now those guys are lined up down the bottom. Now Finlay's got to try and make his way up to the top somehow, but I can guarantee you no one's going to make that easy for him, especially the O2 sitting right there. He's looking to win this thing.
Yeah, and Danny G would have seen that happening, and he would have just rolled off the throttle a little bit to allow Hamish Gallagher to come down and lead the motor race. They're trying to dictate this from the front, and they've done a great job all night. We'll see whether that plays out, but that outside line, Sim boys, don't you worry about that. Gary Wellman getting a big push. He'll get a big push down the back straight here from Joshua Carroll-Walden. Joshy pretty much running by himself tonight. Norman Clark's there in behind as well. You can see 3 cars back. So
he may get cleared down into the straight. He has to drop down.
There it is. Gary Wellman leading the motor race.
So great push from the 35 of Josh Carroll-Walden there. So he knows how to push and get it done here. So he's no surprise that he's up there. So now it's Wellman's turn to see what he can do down here. So ideally, Hamish makes the move to the outside now. So he's going to try and battle himself back on the outside.
100%. And Joshua Carroll-Walden just sitting there on that outside line, 2 back. He's just doing the same thing. He'll push again. And there we go. Bang.
Yeah. All Danny G has to do is roll out the throttle, and then the outside line goes faster. So now what do you do?
Here comes your man, D-Mac, in the 0-2 on the outside. There's going to be a big push here by D-Mac. D-Mac is not going to leave anything on the table, ladies and gentlemen. He will definitely give this a good trundle. Don't write off anyone. I'm a little bit concerned about Adams disconnecting a little bit there, blinking, but we'll see what happens. Normie Clark, Stormin Norman out of New Zealand. How good is it to see him up here having a good trundle as well? So Norman Clark, don't write him off. He's been there or thereabouts. Luke Kenny having a stormer night in his new livery as well. There on the outside, just outside the top 10. How good is this? I'm absolutely excited. You know I get excited, Dave. You've called stuff with me before. I'm trying not to get too excited as we go 75 into 80 with just 6 to go.
Yeah, 6 to go here. So it's sort of... there's contact. There it goes. That's the big one, baby. That's not the whole field. Who snuck through? Finlay snuck through that. Wellman got through that. So Finlay's going to be out the front. Luke Kenny gets through. Norman Clark gets through. Josh Shields got through.
That was big.
Yeah, it's coming down. I told you those side drafts that someone come down, rubbed a little bit of panel, and the worst case scenario is one turns into the other. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, that was the yellow, and that was JCW coming down on, or we don't want to name blame, but that was just super speedway racing, and that was massive. Darren McKenzie's night's done. Adam Malone's done. Lachlan Urquhart again caught up in it. Brad Fenley there in the background. Danny G. It's a night that what could have been there for Mitch Motorsports there, Davo.
Yeah, yep. That's the game you play at Daytona, I guess, isn't it? So, yeah, it probably, without seeing too much, it was definitely between the 45 and the 35. They've made contact, and then, chaos ensued. So, a few cars got away with that, though. So, there's a few snuck through there. So, you got Ryan Jones, who was a lap down not too long ago, is now sitting in 7th. Drady, who's having a good night. He's still sneaking in there. Norman Clark, I think, got through that with no damage. Luke Kenny, Finlay, I think Finlay and Kenny were perfect with no damage through there.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they got away with no damage, but they definitely got away with less than what the others did. Hamish Gallagher got absolutely sent into space. A big crash there from the 13. He's not going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, Mike might be able to get us another replay. We might see if we can break it down a bit more, give you a bit more view, maybe from the chopper or something. Or the blimp. Possibly, there we go. We might be able to get a view of Hamish, so we're about to try and jump back for that replay. But that's
right, no rush.
That's racing at Daytona.
It is.
And coming to what we got, 6 to go at that point. And,
how good's it been, though, Dave? How good's it been, mate? Here we go. We'll have a look.
Coming up. Yeah, so I think it's just Gary's may have come up. Oh, Finlay perfectly. Luke Kenny, a little bit of door banging. Done a real good job. If you can jump on, I don't know if you can, Mark, jump on board. Luke Kenny driving through that wreck. He somehow was able to squeeze through with cars on the inside, and cars flipping and carrying on in front of him on the 27. It is.
That's the Daytona luck right there, Dave.
Yeah, well, that's it. I said you got A option down the bottom, but if you're up the top, you just got to pretty much drive straight. If you watch the 27 here, he does a good job of not driving into the cars down the bottom and just trying to keep it straight there. Look at him around there, just sneaking through there. The purple 27 of Luke Kenny.
Wow. That was it. Ruben Phelps involved in that one too. So your
Ruben,
pole position guy is involved in that as well. So Ruby's not going to be happy with that one.
He took the A option and it's had too much speed on board and actually made worse by his teammate coming up and, he came up into his teammate there. But, yeah.
Just catching the apron there and you get a little bit out of control. You can't really do much there. So unfortunate there. But 4 laps to go, Dave. Gary Wellman will lead us to the green over Finlay, Norman Clark, Jai Schultz and Luke Kenny. So Paul Drady's still sitting there in 6 as well. So this will be interesting. Are we going to get a green-white checker, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for everyone tuning in here on the broadcast network here for ANZCAR Trucks, round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 season. What a night it's been so far. It's not over yet. Don't tune out. Do not turn off your screens because you are about to see an amazing finish here to round number 1 of the ANZCAR Trucks. Gary Wellman will lead us to the green. But they're just going to get themselves sorted at the moment and get ready. But I'm excited for this one. I'm going to go grab myself a cordial and get excited because this is going to be a good finish.
Yeah, so we'll see if they stack up this time by. If they stack up this time by, it'll be an unofficial green-white checker, which they are. So there'll be 3 to go. We'll come around and we'll get 2 to go. So if there is a wreck between now and the checker, we'll check the white flag. It will go to a GCW, the GWC green-white checker, and then that'll be our only chance we're going to get 1 for them. So if they wreck, so they've got a chance to finish this race out without the green-white checker right now. We'll see if they can do it, but a lot of damaged cars back there. But sometimes you just got to have a bit of luck and a bit of draft, and you can stay in this game. But it's going to be interesting to see how these guys do it. Teammates at the front are in the box seat. Let's see how they work together and try to get this race done here.
I can tell you guys that we still have, after that wreck, we still have 20 cars on the lead lap.
Wow. I think a lot of them will be hampered though, with some damage, hopefully not. But we'll see how we go. Anyone that's tuning in and not aware of the green-white checker, Dave Douglas in here tonight, who should be racing, and thank you for jumping in with us again, Dave. It's been really good calling with you. He mentioned earlier on the broadcast, it is, if we go green and we do get the white flag, there will be no caution. It will go green if we get the white flag. If there's a caution before they take the white flag, we will go green-white checker. But we're about to find out. Gary Wellman will lead the way from Simboys. Christopher Finlay, his teammate, on the outside. Norman Clark out of 3rd, Jai Schultz out of 4th, Drady, Kenny, Williams, Jones, Mickelmore, and Nankervis, your 10. Mickelmore still there after a big incident earlier. We're about to find out who's going to be crowned the champion of round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. The pace car is in. We're about to go green. It's in the hands of Gary Wellman, and we're green flag. Here we go, boys.
A bit of movement already as they go through wide. Wellman's out of fuel, maybe. Is he out of fuel?
Damage. I reckon he said he's going to pull.
Oh, must be the engine. Yeah, okay, yep. Oh, it's getting tight up there. Brady's trying to cross. He couldn't get across Luke Kenny. So he goes up. So we got Jai Schultz trying to run the high side. Norman boxes him in there. He's going to have Drady for a pushing partner who's been very aggressive. That's going to be a great choice for Norman.
Jonesy's in behind. Jonesy's going to push hard. There's going to be another wreck here, I guarantee you.
Oh, Schultz is going to split the gap, so he's going to go 3 wide. So Norman Clark to the point. He's got Paul Drady behind him. Does he stay with him? Both of them should drop down to the bottom, you would hope. Norman Clark does, so he drops down. So once we get to this white flag, all bets are off. The race goes to the right. It's a race to the checker. Watch Jonesy. He's got it wrong. He's on behind Schultz now.
Oh, 3 wide. Oh, under the apron.
Next car.
Yeah. Oh, under the apron.
This is it. White flag, baby. All bets
Look
are
who's
off.
on the outside. Ruben Phelps on the outside as well, pushing Josh Schultz for the win. There's going to be no caution. There's going to be no caution. Ruben Phelps will be leading.
That's massive. Stevie Dubs. Stevie Dubs is on the lead. Luke Kenny behind him. There is a gap.
Go, Lukey. Go, Lukey. Stevie Williams in first. Stevie Williams. How good is that? Brad Fenley up in the third there, Davo.
Brad Fenley's having a night of his life here. Luke Kenny, I don't think he's going to have enough speed to get down there, but this race may be sealed and delivered right now to Stevie Dubs. He never won one easier than this. But,
what a drive from Stevie Dub.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and break down that, but we'll watch Stephen take this checker flag here as he comes to the line.
Your round one winner of season 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR truck season. The 98 DPR of Stephen Williams comes across the line. Luke Kenny comes home in... Brad Fenley, rather, comes home in second. With Luke Kenny coming home in third.
Shane Bowen third. Shane Bowen. New name over to the season. No, he's dropping down now. So maybe he got a black flag. There's chaos out here.
I can't
No, he's back there again.
He's showing third. I got no idea. But we do know one thing. Stephen Williams, the winner of round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. What a race. What a finish. It's exactly what we expected, gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was wild down there. Josh Schultz, I'm not sure who he was got together with, but across the grass there, they launched,
my friend.
That's right. Launched across the little road down there. Massive accidents for Josh Schultz down there. It's huge. So I don't know if we can get a replay of that, but we've got Stevie Dub about to burn it down here. So we're going to have a quick look at this replay, see if we can break it down. Shane. Oh, that's how he got through the wreck. So he backed out of it, way out of it, just drove cleanly through it, and that's how he ends himself his first top 5 in ANZCAR. Here we go. This is it. So watch this. Oh, Norman Clark goes up a bit. 27.
Yeah.
Watch Josh Schultz here across the in-road track. Oh, that's a big accident. Over on his roof. Oh, my goodness.
Paul Drady, after having such a great night, got caught up in that. It was really bad for Paul.
That's some wild stuff there. That's that's crazy. And Stevie Dove somehow got through it. So did Luke Kenny. They all sort of checked up there. We might be able to see it here.
So Shane Bowen ended up getting third in that one, mate.
Yeah, nice. So they all just sort of checked out. Oh, Nan Curvis. That's a big ride. He's gone on the big drop from the top. Still going though. Did he get it going? No.
I call that a 3.5 somersault with a pike. If he was in there diving for the Olympics, I reckon he would have got 10 out of 10 for execution, 7 out of 10 for degree of difficulty. We'll go through your results here, ladies and gentlemen, for round number 1, season number 1 of the ANZCAR Truck Series. It was Stephen Williams from DPRSimrigs.com taking out the win over Brad Fenley. Shane Bowen comes home in third place. Great drive from him. Josh Gallican in fourth. Brad Allison with a great drive. We spoke about him a little bit earlier. Come home in
out of nowhere.
Ruben Phelps back in the 6th. Joshie Mickamore held on for 7th. Norman Clark, after getting sent into oblivion, still finished 8th. Matty Ray in 9th, Christopher Finlay in 10th, as I let you take over the next ones, Davo.
The page 2, Luke Kenny, hard done by. Maybe he got he had to have got some sort of incident penalty because he's dropped down now to 11th. He may have blew up down the backstrap, we're not sure, but 12th is the 11 of Ryan Jones, 13th Wesley Chosey, 20th Jamie Nankervis, 19th Josh Schultz, unlucky there, was in with a shot there at the end. The 127, Jack Barrett, 16th. 18th, 129, Drady, who was also into a shot. 18th, the 555 of Sheridan. Brett Campbell managed to bring her home 19th, 14th. It's a bit jumbled up there, Gary Wellman. But, no doubt, and Stevie Dub got this one done tonight.
Yeah, something's definitely going on there with the overlays. But Russell Bracker, Lachlan Urquio, a night that he wants to get back. Carl Withy, after strong performance earlier in practice, sits there in 23rd. Adam Malone in the big accident. Hamish Gallagher, you saw, sent into oblivion. They won't be happy with that. Joshua Carroll-Walden, Darren McKenzie, Danny G, Kobe Jordan with connection issues earlier, and Paul Jackson down there as well. Greg Spencer, Jason Nicholas, Troy Davidson, Max Cooper, Nigel Payton, Dylan O'Shea, Lachlan Horan, Sean, I can never say that, Sean D, I'm going to call him,
Sean.
Liam James, and Brenton Henderson.
Beautiful.
Well, boys, what a race. Round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Trucks. Pleasure to call it with you, Dave. What a race. And what a finish to that one.
Yeah, Daytona, mate. This is always exciting. Not quite the race to the line, but it was definitely the race to the white flag, that's for sure. And mate, the boys got the hours out there towards the end there. That's one of the wildest crashes I've ever seen, where the cars are actually gone down across the grass and apron and smacked straight back up into the pack. So yeah. So if you got through that, count your lucky stars. But yeah, that was fun.
That was definitely fun. Let's bring up the top 3 place getters here tonight. Shane Bowen, Brad Fenley, and Stephen Williams. We'll bring them up into the broadcast booth and have a chat. We've got Shane Bowen up here first. Shane, mate, started out of P number 6, come home P number 3. It was pretty pedestrian-like early, but then when the elbows got out, it was definitely a big one at the end. You've got to be happy with a P3, mate.
Oh, absolutely. My car couldn't even hold on to the pack, so for me to get through all that on the last lap and come home with a podium, yeah, it's amazing.
Well,
Actually,
first,
we saw you.
sorry,
in the
Dave.
replay there. No, you're right. We saw you because off the pace there, which gave you an opportunity to see that accident happen and unfold. And we actually watched you weave your way through that accident all the way up to the third, mate. So that was pretty crazy. What was going through your mind weaving through there? Like, did you expect to pop out in third?
Not really. I was just hoping that there was going to be some sort of line to get through there, but it ended up working, so got to be happy with that.
Not a bad result on debut, mate, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you say, it's first time here. I've had no expectations coming into this and haven't driven these trucks in quite some time, so to come home in P3 is better than I ever expected.
Well, Shane, first time in ANZCAR, you're racing against some of the best oval sim racers in Australia and New Zealand. What do you think of ANZCAR in your first time out and the quality of driving?
Yeah, I'm going to give the Cup Series a go this year with my teammate Alex, so we'll see what that turns out like. Don't really know what to expect there, but from seeing tonight, I think it'll be quite fun.
Well, mate, you definitely got something to back up now. You got third in your first thing out. You got to win the next one.
Yeah, well, I might have to come back and give the trucks another go. It was not too bad.
Dave, anything you want to add to Shane before we let him go and thank all his sponsors?
No, mate. Just well done on your first race out, mate. Good to see you in ANZCAR. And hopefully get to bang doors with you a few more battles, mate, throughout the year.
No worries. Hope to be here.
Well, Shane, mate, big congratulations. Can't wait to run you in Cup as well and race against you. It's good to see some new names here and really proud of you to get to P3. It's good to see new names on the podium, mate. Big shout out to anyone involved with your P3.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for doing the broadcast and thanks for ANZCAR guys for putting on the league. And thanks for my teammate for keeping me informed about where that safety car was during the pits so I could get some damage done.
No worries at all, mate. It was our pleasure. Great job. P3 there. Shane Bowen here for round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. That brings us across to the VB man, Mr. Brad Fenley, mate.
Hello,
P2. Fenley. How good is that?
Mate, yeah, I'll definitely cheers to that one. A bit lucky there. Like, I had me Tactica just hanging at the back for most of the day, and Matty Raymond was back there with me. And we're just watching proceedings in a leisurely sort of way, and then obviously, that last safety car that brought us all back to the same fuel. You know, something was going to happen. It happened.
Well, mate, it's definitely a good job. You got a bit of broadcast time. There was a couple of incidents where you were very lucky, and there were big ones. But you got super speedways. You got to put yourself in the position, and you definitely did that tonight, and that's why you got the result.
Yeah, well, that's right. One of the fellas I was shared the Discord room with said that to me as well, but I definitely got lucky. I don't know if you saw that last incident, but I think you had a car screaming from the grass back to the fence, one in front.
Go back and look at the broadcast. We're wetting ourselves.
Anyway, I'd like to say it was down to a bit of great throttle modulation on my behalf to do that, but it was just sheer ass.
What are we going to see, mate? We're going to see a VB showy, mate. I want to see a video in the Discord, mate, for P2, mate.
I think I made the win for a shoey. Like, I don't know if you spent. I don't know if you
Crack a
smelled my
BB at least, mate.
Go halfway, mate, to a thongy or something. At least halfway, and then you can do a shoey. Dave, over to you, mate.
Yeah, Brad, like you said, mate, you just got to put yourself in the right position to be able to capitalise on those big those big incidents. So, how did you go? Did you just like the other incidents? There was a couple of big ones there towards the end of the race. Did you manage your way through those ones all right too?
Yeah, I didn't think anything was a real lot of trouble. I didn't even think I was in anything close to me. But yeah, the last one, I knew something was going to happen, and yeah, I wasn't disappointed. But yeah, very very glad that very glad to just get through it and pick up a P2. So yeah, I'm just cheering.
Absolutely, mate. Well, it's good to see you out here, mate. Sometimes good things happen to good people, mate. So give your sponsors or whoever a shout out, mate. Any teammates or anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate. Floor's yours.
Thanks to Brad Ellison and PJ for inviting me in to share the race with them, and of course I'll have a cold VB. Just like to thank my dad, who definitely be watching. He'll be getting a bit of a kick out of it, and one of my other mates, Race or Ride. Anyway, thanks guys. You'll enjoy watching this one. Thanks guys. Thanks to the broadcast team too. Thanks guys.
Big congratulations, Brad. Really proud, man. Good to see you up on the podium, mate. It's really good to see. So big congratulations.
Cheers, fellas. Cheers.
All right, that moves us across to our winner for season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. Stevie Dubs, Stephen Williams, mate. I bet you your heart was in your mouth there, but like I said earlier to the other guys, you got to put yourself in the position. You definitely did that and come home with the chockies.
Yeah, cheers for that. That was intense. I'll have to go back and watch what happened. I could hear it all going on inside of me there and just waiting for someone to right hook up into me. But yeah, just managed to steer clear of it.
Well, mate, I was saying to Dave through the broadcast, with 40 cars and a lot of people didn't get in, it's a very wanted series to be able to race in. We were expecting a lot more carnage and everyone was driving really, really well. Did you see that as well during the race? Because from the broadcast perspective, we went nearly over half race distance without really an incident. And the first incident was no real crash. So amazing driving by all drivers out there tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I probably caused my teammate to get involved in that incident when I started pushing it 3 wide up the middle and going a bit too aggressive too early, and yeah, he got caught up in the incident behind us. So don't know, if that's half on me just by pushing too much too early, and he unfortunately got involved with it. But yeah, it's hard not to have a go. You've got to do something. You seem to be going nowhere with the 2 lines just being able to hang together. It had to go 3 wide eventually, and yeah, it's just exciting to be a part of. And it was pretty good majority of the 3 wide racing.
Well, we saw that early, we saw that we were talking that early in the broadcast, and it took a long time to go 3 wide, but when it counted, you definitely did. But Dave, over to you, mate.
Yeah, mate. We didn't actually. I couldn't find you. I just saw your car pop out on the back straight there. That's how I knew you were in a good position. But how did you manage to work your way through that wreck? Where were you when it all started happening? Were you behind that pack, or just talk us through that last lap, man?
I was pretty much up high and just kept on getting the call of 3 wide and stuff, and just waiting to hook up with someone up the top there to push them, or someone get behind me. I was just pretty much stick it out at that top there because there was too much going on those bottom 2 lanes to try get out, cut anyone off.
Yeah. Oh, well, brilliant, mate. Yeah, work your way through, right? Round 1 in the trucks, mate. Starting off pretty good, mate.
Yeah, it's a good way to start the season, and can't remember who it was. They said it's my 400th start tonight, so
Oh,
it's a good one
perfect,
for
mate.
that as
Hey,
well.
how's that?
Yeah.
Good
The
way to
el-
celebrate, mate.
elder statesman, mate. Eh? Stevie Dub. Perfect,
Well, mate,
yeah, go for it, Aiden.
no, sorry, mate. A big congratulations, Steve. It's no surprise to see in the winners lane or winning. We see you at the front and winning a lot, mate. You're a good bloke, and above all, you deserve the win. So a good way to start the season. Big shout out to everyone involved and those sponsors, mate.
Yeah, cheers for that. Just thank ANZCAR for all the series they put on. It's great fun to be part of. The broadcast team for doing these streams every week. It's always good fun to sit back and watch. And then Shane and Brad for their podiums. And then simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Benamax Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, NP Designs, and all the fellas at DPR Racing.
No worries at all, mate. Big congratulations once again. And your winner here for round number 1, season number 1 of the 2022 ANZCAR Truck Series. It is none other than the 98 DPR simrigs.com entry of Stephen Williams. Dave Douglas, what a night in the booth, mate. Unfortunate you couldn't race, but so good to have you up here in the booth with me, mate.
Yeah, mate. Like I said, I would much rather being out there and having fun with those guys. But I guess this is the next best thing, mate. Get up here and still be a part of it and enjoy it. So yeah, hopefully won't see you next time, but maybe. We never know.
We never know. But ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 tonight here for round number 1, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. It was Stephen Williams coming home with the win, Brad Fenley and Shane Bowen taking out the top 3. We'll go through the calendar as we're about to go into round number 2 next week. So if you're tuning in here on Checkered Flag e-streaming, do that on YouTube, because if you liked what you saw tonight, you're going to see even more next week. We're off super speedways and we go into the next one. Calendar's not up at the moment. We're at Auto Club next week, so we go to a 1.5, Dave, in my wheelhouse. I know you're muted at the moment, but 1.5 next week from a super speedway. Looking forward to that one.
Sorry, what track was it, mate?
Auto Club.
Oh, Auto Club. Oh, yeah. It's almost a super speedway in these trucks, so it should be still an interesting race. It'll be almost flat out as well. So these tracks have a good drafting package on them. So yeah, it'll be an interesting race.
Well, we'll see whether Stephen Williams can come out and back up and go 2 from 2 next week at Auto Club Speedway, whether Brad Fenley can get another podium, whether some of the guys that had a bit of an unfortunate night tonight can get up there and have a good result. It is round number 1, season number 1 of the ANZCAR Trucks. Stevie Williams, Brad Fenley, Shane Bowen, your top 3. Thank you to everyone tuning in here across Australia, all across the world, anyone tuning in here on Checkered Flag e-streaming. We thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next Monday night for round number 2 of the ANZCAR Truck Series here on Checkered Flag e-streaming. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.